Welcome back to Vixikitsi. So, you ever just take a look at yourself and then at someone else online and think, what are you doing? Trends! Yep, I'm getting straight to the punchline on this one. They are a big part of society in the modern age. These days, the current trends are using TikTok and hating Arby's. But I'm talking the legacy trends, man. Late 2000s, early 2010s, see, that was where the money was with the trends. Nothing quite as exuberant or flippin' dumb as the Tide Pod challenge, but stuff that can make you more ecstatic than a crock ever will. This was the era when social media was really ramping up. YouTube had just released in 2005, and sure, Facebook came out a year earlier, and things like MySpace had come a couple years before that. But in the early ages of YouTube, this was quite possibly the best way for trends to spread. Now, of course, you had the dumber challenges, like the Cinnamon Challenge. Now, that was a great way to find an early grave. But some of these trends actually meant something. Something that comes to my mind when I think of trends is the Ice Bucket Challenge. Now, of course, pouring ice water on your head isn't inherently anything special, but this was to raise awareness for a charity raising money for ALS treatment. But in the midst of temporary tattoos and shutter shades, one trend reached younger audiences more than many others. Silly bands. No, your eyes do not deceive you. That is a rubber band shaped like a dinosaur. Silly bands. This trend is something I really remember enjoying. It's such a harmless, oddly wholesome trend in a way. Seeing all of these other people snacking on laundry detergent and using questionable mayonnaise for chicken, silly bands is the kind of thing that I wish we had more of. It wasn't overbearing, it was just cute, colorful rubber bands. I don't have any myself at the moment. Yes, in fact, I do live in eternal damnation. But it wasn't anything dangerous, it wasn't really annoying, it was just a cute accessory you could wear on your wrist, and like many other trends, it spread fast and to all kinds of media. And I was lucky enough to be catered to. Silly bands! Play the Craze! It's like the title of the video! Silly bands have been stolen and it's up to you to get them back! I would do anything for silly bands. Exclusive silly bands pack included. Well, don't mind if I do. Damn it! My copy doesn't have the exclusive bands. It turns out that buying a secondhand copy for $6 will really do that to you. As I said, eternal damnation. Now, don't be deceived, I did get this copy secondhand, but I also had the game when I was younger. My dad picked me up from kindergarten and handed me Silly Bandz DS, and that was truly a turning point for the better in my life. I played it once, couldn't figure it out, and never touched it again. Well, this is my redemption arc, 10 years in the making. This is Silly Bandz for the DS. Yeah! Silly bands, play the Craze! That's the official full title. Actually playing the game? It's, well, yeah, what was that? That one phone game, what was it? Mad Poultry? Yeah, so you basically fling rubber bands towards obstacles which are stacked and arranged in various ways, knock them down, and hit these cages. Whoever stole the silly bands is really possessive. Also, you don't fling silly bands, they're regular, no-nonsense rubber bands. I refuse to play games. Not to mention, this game's inspiration from Irate Fowl is blaring. It is nearly identical in terms of concept. Now, I'll give Silly Bandz DS the benefit of the doubt. It is Silly Bandz after all. I think that it is blatantly obvious that this game was heavily inspired by disgruntled pheasants. But also, it's a game about a dang rubber band. What else can you really do with that concept? Furthermore, who cares? The Raging Chickens came out in 2009. Silly Bandz came out in December 2010, I think. It's clear that Zoo was trying to bank off of the former's concept and popularity. It was the height of the mobile gaming renaissance. It makes sense to take notes of what's popular. The thing is, though, you couldn't play Angry Birds on the DS in any way. Not saying that stealing the concept is justified by that, but it's a decent alternative if that's your kind of thing and you're just dying to play something like that on the DS. Is what I would say if this game wasn't awful! This game just doesn't play well at all. How in God's name are there frame rate drops? And what do you mean I can't see anything I'm trying to hit when I'm actually shooting the rubber bands? The soundtrack isn't even good. Ah! Yep, that game was awful. So awful, in fact, that I've decided to quit this whole existence thing. Life was mid anyway, so I'm just gonna end it all by doing the cinnamon challenge. I got my cinnamon, I got my spoon, just a little bit of that, and